most of those problems related to this specific model will also be the same with X5 from 2007 to 2013, also known as the E70. This model came with the 3 engine options. One is a diesel engine and the 2 gasoline engines. Most common issues on these engines are oil leaks, various oil leaks from the oil filter housing, oil cooler oil filter housing gasket, oil cooler gasket, valve cover gasket. That's a huge job. Valve cover gasket, estimate for this one is about $500. All those together, not that much, about $150. You should get around. The one issue that's absolutely famous on this car is the water pump. That one fails every single car. At around 70,000 to 100,000, I can guarantee you will change it. And it doesn't even last long. You will buy the new one, and after another 50, 60, 70,000, you're gonna have to change it again. That fails like every single car. The water pump fails on this one. Another known issue on these cars is a high pressure fuel pump, which is located right in between the intake manifold and the engine block. That is common to fail, especially on the early models. Early models had problems with the injectors as well. There's something named the index on the injectors. If this car will shake and the engine will shake at the cold start, the first thing you want to do is to check the injectors and the numbers on them. If it says 11 and the lower, that's probably your problem. If it says a 12, that's a new generation of injectors. They kind of fixed the whole problem with the injectors. Variable timing solenoids. You have 2 of them right at the front of the engine. Those are not that expensive to change. One solenoid is about $200. You can get maybe for $150 aftermarket one. You shouldn't pay more than $100, $150 for labor. Another very expensive problem with the 6-cylinder engines on this car is the eccentric shaft and the shaft actuator. The gears on the shaft will eventually wear out and will need to be replaced with the whole shaft. The shaft with the actuator is about almost $2,000, and to replace it is about $1,500 as well, because that's an extensive work. Turbo wastegate rattling noise. It's very pronouncing and annoying. Doesn't really do much with the performance, just more about the sound. If you want to change this one, it's expensive. You have to take the turbos out and either rebuild them or buy the new one, which is expensive one. It's a few $1,000s for sure. Okay, let's move on with another engine. That would be gasoline V8, 4.8 liter. V8 engine, a huge problem. On these cars, I can tell you that's a huge problem. The main issue would be the valve seals on this. They tend to fail at around 80,000 clicks on the engine. What will happen? The engine will burn oil like crazy. It will burn 1 liter of oil every 100 kilometers, and you will see a bunch of smoke from behind yourself. To replace that kind of an issue, you have to essentially take the engine out of the car and completely rebuild it. The estimate for this one is anywhere between 5,000 up to 13,000, 14,000, depends which shop you will take it to. Those engines fail on oil leaks, like from valve cover gaskets, timing cover gasket. The estimate to change those is about $1,000 up to $1,500. Parts with the labor. Diesel engine. Top 2 most common issues on those would be the oil leak as well, the valve cover gasket, oil cooler gasket, which is located down below, and another one would be related to the diesel regeneration fluid tank. The heater fails almost instantly. Last major issue with the diesel engine would be the timing chain. If the previous owner didn't do the regular oil changes or were using the low quality oil, it will stretch the chain and you will hear the timing chain rattle. So if you're buying one, make sure you're gonna start it with a cold engine and listen for a rattling noise. If there's some, then you most likely will not gonna buy the car, or you're gonna have to change it soon. And that's something that can run you about $2,500 up to $5,000, depends where you're gonna take it. Let's take a look at the transmission. The transmission in those cars is pretty durable, it's pretty okay. The only problem that can happen is the gasket between the valve body and the transmission inside, and you will lose the transmission fluid pressure. The estimate to fix this is about $600 max. There's not known problems with the brakes as well as the steering. Those are pretty good. Another little problem would be with the suspension. Those models can come with the air suspension as well as a standard suspension. The air suspension can give you a headache with the suspension airbags. They are prone to fail, leak the air, the car will eventually collapse down on the rear wheels and won't be drivable. Those are fairly easy to replace. One airbag is anywhere between $200 to $300, So for both of them it's $600 max, with labor maybe another $200. Electrical issues, there's a few typical problems with this car. The first would be MMI display. The backlight goes away, and whatever you can see inside, it's very hard to see. It's like when you turn the backlight on your phone all the way down, it's pretty much the same picture you will see in here. It's quite expensive to change. You will have to replace the whole unit for either new or used one, ranging anywhere between 500 up to 1500. Another electrical issue will be the door locks. They tend to fail quite often as well, but they're fairly cheap. Unlike a Mercedes or a Jaguar, you can get new ones for about $200 or even under $200. Replacing them is not that difficult. You can do it yourself if you're mechanically inclined. If not, then any other shop should do it for about $100-150. The rear taillights, on the ones located on the tailgate, they tend to fail from the water leak. The water leaks behind the seals inside, and eventually it will burn the electronics inside. So the only fix is to replace them. There's a few aftermarket options for about $150 each, up to $350 for original. So again, not a whole lot of money. Labor to replace those lights fairly easy as well, about $100-150 max. Body issues on those models. So far I've seen that panel in here, it tends to disengage from its base and the roll up. It looks ugly, no good. There's a few options on eBay. You most likely will go for a used one, not original. Original is expensive because it comes as the whole glove box, ranging from anywhere between $200 up to $600 with labor, and depends where you're gonna have it replaced. Another related to the body would be the sunroof in here. The gear just fails. It will leave the glass open and you'll be stranded with a gap in between here, which will leave the space for the water and all the debris to come in. That's, obviously is no good. And the last one related to the body, what I've seen is that clear coat on those trims. They tend to crack. There's not much you can do about it unless you're gonna change the whole trims, which can be costly. Aftermarket on eBay you can get a full set of trims for about $500-400. New ones will be a few thousand for sure, but replacing is not that easy. It's actually molded from inside of the whole door panel. You would have to re-drill it and glue it in. It's definitely something that you could do yourself if you're willing to spend a lot of time in it, but also it can be repaired. You can actually send down that clear coat and just to put a new one, and that will do the work as well without actually buying the new parts.